Hello, I'm Jo and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is something super exciting. This is our entry for the NYX 2019 Face Awards. It's a lot to get done, so let's go ahead and jump in. We are going to first start by blocking out our eyebrows using a glue stick, and then we're going to paint ourselves the palest shade of foundation that we can possibly find. We're going to drag that down onto our neck and chest as well. So for the eye look today, we're going to be doing this super blown out jewel toned smoky eye. I went ahead and did it on the other side so you have a point of reference. We're going to first pick up a rich purple color and we're going to pack that on the very inner corner as well as the outer corner of the lid. Now, a halo eye does mean that the brightest or lightest color is focused right there on the very center. So what we're doing by leaving space as of right now is just kind of giving a nice outline as far as where we want that color to be placed. So we're using our mid-tone, which is that purple. You'll notice that then we go in with a very neon pink for the center of the lid. And finally, we take a very rich blue and pop that on the very outskirts. Again, because we are exaggerating the proportions of this eye look, instead of stopping where you would traditionally for a normal beauty look, we're going to drag that dark blue all the way up over that eyebrow that we covered, creating a new shape and kind of distorting the face, a little bit less human, if you will. The key to getting a really good gradient with looks like this is patience and a lot of blending. So I did go back and forth with all of those colors several times. I'm taking a really light blue eyeshadow as well and popping that on the very outskirts of that dark blue just to kind of feather it into the rest of our paleness a little bit better. I didn't want quite as harsh of a line. And then with whatever's left on my brush, I am going ahead and dragging that across the bridge of my nose and then downwards. To help that center color really pop, we are first laying down a very light base. I am using a concealer in the lightest shade that I could possibly find, which is practically white. I'm placing that in the very center, dragging it all the way up through that brow and then tapping out the edges with my finger. And then I'm going to hit the edges of that concealer with that same neon pink just to feather in the color a little bit better so that it's not quite so harsh. And we're popping a bright pink glitter right there in the center. Add some eyeliner to the top. We're using some of the same colors that we used above on our lower lash line. We're going to take a white liquid lipstick and draw a new false lower lash line. And then to make that really stand out, we're going to outline that in some of that same black eyeliner. I'm taking that same hot pink color that we used in our eye look and I am smoking out the lip line, and then I'm taking the darker blue that we used in our eyes and I'm kind of treating it like it's a lip liner just along the lip line on both the top and the bottom. That way we get that nice pretty gradient from the pink into the blue before we pop on our liquid lip. And then with what was left over on my brush, I decided that the tip of my nose was a little bit plain, and so I did pop that pink color right onto the very edge. We added a teal lipstick, and then with that same color, I decided that the middle of our face was a little bit bland, and so I popped on some faux freckles. This is an aquatic character. I decided that I needed something a little bit more angular, just to kind of distort the human features a little bit and draw the attention in a little bit more on like the cheekbones, and so I decided to go for that same color that's in our lips and also in our freckles. We then used to make little stripes on our face. And then to finish off the face, I decided that we needed to glow, baby. And so I added a little bit of a highlight to the tip of my nose onto my forehead and my cheeks. We are grabbing a royal blue water activated paint and a stipple sponge, and we are stippling the very outskirts of our fish body. So we're hitting the sides of the neck, our shoulders, and then we're going to get into our collarbone as well. We then picked up a purple similar to the one in our eye look, also a water activated paint, and we added that to the blue. Again, hitting those same areas right into the shoulders, on the sides of the neck, giving it a little bit more texture and a nice gradient. To accentuate the neckline and the clavicle, I took those same eyeshadows that we used in our eye look and really defined those areas with a soft, fluffy brush. I went in first with the blue, then popped a little bit of purple, and finally took that bright fuchsia pink color and added that to the look as well. And then because I felt like it didn't have enough structure, I decided to take that same pale foundation that we used earlier on the stipple sponge and really highlight those areas that I felt like would be protruding a little bit more, particularly in the neck and on the collarbone as well. I found some UV paints last time I went to the makeup store, and I've been dying to try them out, so I did pop a little bit onto my lips as well as across my cheeks and my nose by way of freckles, and a little bit into my headdress. I'm planning to do a character centered around tentacles ever since I learned how to make them a few years ago working with a brilliant props artisan up in New York. So these tentacles are glued to a headband. I am wearing a bald cap, and then to secure the headband to my head because it was rather heavy as far as a headdress goes, and because I didn't like the separation between my natural forehead where the bald cap was and then the top of the tentacles, I decided to take some cotton and some latex and kind of build myself like a pseudo forehead. So that took forever to dry, but it was a great way to keep that headdress in place while I was swimming. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It was so much fun for me to make. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Bye.